Hello and welcome back to another episode of Life Isn't Over Yet. If you're enjoying these topics, please hit the subscribe button. I'll be showing up here every Saturday talking about subjects that'll be close to your heart. And this series happens to be around Venus because Venus is in retrograde. And because she's in retrograde, she's asking you, what do you love? She is also the ruler of the seventh and the second house. The second house is the house of self-worth, and the seventh house in astrology is the house of relationships. So you're going to be feeling this regardless, because whatever is happening above is happening below. You're going to be questioned internally about your value when it comes to the relationships in your life, as well as your self-worth, your value. So this series is about stepping into becoming a high value woman. And there are things that you do on repeat because you're unaware, because they've been so ingrained in you from society, from the patriarch, from this cycle that we've been in, this loop from the Piscean age, where the hierarchy was birthed. And because we're moving out of that into the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius is about community and everyone being on the same level. We can even see that happening with our world leaders, where they're trying to figure out a way that we can bring democracy back to the people. And this is happening in the house of relationships as well, because there's been this imbalance. We've been in the patriarchal masculine energy, which causes the world to be out of balance because the women are the female or the feminine energy. It doesn't have to be gender specific. It's an energy, is the nurturer that creates harmony and balance in the world. Because every day we know that the sun is going to rise and then set, and then the moon will appear. It is a cycle. They share the universe with each other, which is the feminine and masculine energy. So this is about why he isn't that into you. You probably, from the title, you got here because you're like, why isn't he into me? And the reason why he's not into you is because you are not into yourself. So you've been outrunning yourself. You've been looking for other people to give you validation, to say, give you that stamp of approval. You've been programmed to believe that if you look a certain way, then, you'll get what you want. And you've been giving your power away into thinking that there's something wrong with you. And the minute that you pour into yourself and you decide to have a relationship with yourself, meaning you make yourself a priority, you'll begin to see that the right person will come around. Now, in my last episode, I talked about a breakup that changed my life. But one of the things is the universe is always working with you, even when it comes to relationships. So I happen to have been brought up in this small town. And in this small town, I like to refer to it as the graveyard, because in this small town, there were women from all over the world. There were women from Korea, Japan, China, Vietnam, France, Germany, Russia, Persia. It was a melting pot of women, not men, women. And the reason is because there was a military base there. So these women wanted the American dream, and they married their military man, and then they were stationed in this small town and forgotten. And their kids were stuck there. Their grandkids were stuck there. And I had made a promise to myself that I was going to get out of that small town. And I knew that it was just a stepping stone. It was such a small town. It was like a truck stop. That because there was a highway next to it. And so people went there. It was just to get through the traffic, get through to get to your destination. You stop there, maybe get a bite to eat. There was a local bar, you get some gas. I'm talking small. It's not so small now, but it is still as toxic as it was then. When I was talking about that breakup, or if you want to call it a breakup, what I wasn't aware of is this person lived in that small town. And had it have worked out between the two of us, I would have been stuck back in that small town that I vowed as a child that I was going to get out of. So I want you to know that the universe is always listening to you. And so even though you have this template, your blueprint, you have free will, and you're going to get to your destination regardless. You will get to your destination, but there will be detours, and that depends on you. And if you are willing to forget about why you came here in order to have somebody want you, know that the universe is always protecting you. So if something isn't working out, it is because it's not meant to be. And that's where surrender comes in. So if you're feeling like I'm not enough, know that it's not that you're not enough. It's just that they're not the right one. And the way that you manage this energy is that you pour into yourself. You have a relationship with you and realize that you are the prize. You have this template that makes you unique. There is no one out there like you. And here you are forgetting about your value and your worth because you want somebody to tell you that you have value and you have worth. And that's where the healing comes in. Because when you work on healing all of those traumas, those beliefs, and things that you experienced as a child, you are not going to trauma bond with someone else. So if this person is not into you, let's say, and you choose to suffer in silence about it, you're making it about you. And it's not, because I will tell you this, when it comes to the masculine, their emotional bandwidth is pretty small. And this is not to beat up on men, but they are the doers. They just want to get stuff done. They're not going to sit in their emotions. They're not thinking about you as much as you are thinking about them. And I don't mean for that to sound harsh, but I don't want you to sit around and mope and feel like there's something wrong with you, because there is nothing wrong with you other than you're thinking this person is thinking about you and you're still stewing about them and they've moved on. You're making it about you that you guys didn't connect, right? Because if he is not into you, he's just not into you. It has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. And when I talk about seeking external validation, when you know your worth and you know that you're a high value woman, you don't need somebody to give you the stamp of approval. You know that this isn't the one. Same thing when you go for a job. If it doesn't work out, that's not the one. If the interview, you don't give up. You just know that the right fit is going to come along. But the reason why you're not too sure and that you're feeling like it's about you is because you haven't really got to know yourself. And that is why I created Discover Your Avatar Masterclass, so that you can understand your big three, which is your sun, moon, and rising, and your Venus placement. Because there is a template there that's uniquely yours. In that course, I even talk to you about how you step into becoming a high value woman. Because if he's not into you, that is fine. It's not about you. And I will tell you this, one time I met this person and we had gone out a couple of times and he was telling me about this toxic relationship he had before. And he ended up going back to it. And I said, or he ended up going back to it, but then he ended up meeting somebody else. And he told me that he met somebody else. And I said, good for you. Because I knew it wasn't about me not being enough. I said, good for you. You found somebody that you've connected with. And do you know the minute I said that, he started chasing me again, which is wild. But that is somebody who has issues. And when it doesn't work out, know that the universe is just saving you from going through all that trauma from the trauma bond. So if he's not into you, start looking at it like it's a blessing in disguise. Stop looking at it like there's something wrong with you, because there's nothing wrong with you. They're just not the right one for you. And this is not coming from a place of being pretentious or full of yourself. It's just knowing who you are, what your authentic code is, and who you are here to be a match with. And the most important thing that you will ever do for yourself is to heal any of those beliefs that you have, reprogram those beliefs so you don't keep attracting the same kind of man who is ghosting you, who is emotionally unavailable, who plays games. And the reason that they do that, that you keep attracting that person, is because you see the red flags and you tolerate the red flags. But when you know yourself and you know why you're here and you know the role, your avatar, the character that you're playing in this lifetime, you don't allow for the detours and you don't take it so personally and say, oh, I must not be good enough. I need to lose some weight. I need to have a great career. I need to change everything about myself so he can see that I have value. Because if you can't see that you have value just because of your energy, know that you are not an energetic match. And it has nothing to do with you not being good enough. The universe is just saving you from going down a path that's going to be a waste of time. How many women stay too long in a toxic relationship hoping for that person to change? So if that person is not into you, just know that you dodged a bullet, that you still have those years to devote to yourself for the right person that comes into your life, instead of trying to make something work that is not a fit. So when he's not that into you, what are you going to do? You are going to say it is a blessing in disguise. You are going to say, whew, I dodged a bullet. You are going to take back your time that you've been wasting on trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Why didn't it work? Why did they ghost me like that? I'm telling you, they are not thinking about you. So stop giving them your energy, even when they don't know that you're giving them their energy. And it's because you are not willing to get on with your life and fill your cup up and do things for you and know that there's a whole world out there. And he is just one little dot. If you look up into the universe and you see all of the stars twinkling back at you, that is his spirit amongst all of the stars. And here you're focusing on one, that the light is so dim that you have to penetrate your vision to get it in focus so you can see it clearly. And hey, I'm over here. I'm shining over here. Don't you see me? Why? When you have so many other brighter stars out there that you can choose from that connect with you right away and see you right away. So this is what you're going to do. First of all, you're going to get to know who you are, your characteristics, everything that's innately your strengths, even your weaknesses. And you're going to step into your high value woman era, which means you're going to follow the 3 Ps. You're going to make yourself a priority. You're going to give yourself purpose. I don't care what the purpose is. It's not about the career. It's about what wakes you up in the morning fulfilled. Set the intention. And then perception. You're going to change your perception from feeling unwanted and not good enough to knowing that you dodged a bullet. And you're going to work on your mindset around there. I don't care if you have to say affirmations or if you have to listen to guided meditations to tell you to reprogram your brain. And then you're going to ask yourself by journaling, what is it about me that I don't believe that I'm worthy? Why do I feel that way? And you could trace it back to your parents. Maybe you had an emotionally unavailable father. And so that's why you chase that kind of man because you're trying to prove that you have worth. And, it's like, why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? But you're taking this father wound with you. Or maybe it's that you're comparing yourself to somebody else's life that you're seeing on social media and you're thinking, why do they have it and I can't have it? Maybe there's something wrong with me. And if you watch my last episode or listen to my last episode, you will know that comparison is the thief of joy. And if you have to remove yourself from social media so you can get back in tune with who you are, then do it. Don't let it steal your life force energy. Because I'm telling you, if he's not into you, it is because it is a blessing. It is not because you are not good enough. And just say to yourself, whew, I dodged a bullet. Because now I can take my time back and invest it where it should be. So stop moping and stop thinking that there's something wrong with you and you need to fix yourself. The only thing that you need to do is pour into yourself and love yourself to change your vibration, to change your auric field. You don't need to be Eeyore, gloomy about someone that's moved on with their life who's not even thinking about you. And the reason why this is so important at this time is because Venus is in retrograde. So I will tell you this, the minute that you start pouring into yourself, they are going to pop back into the scene because they're going to feel your energy again. Right now, your energy is so low that it's faint. But when you start stepping into your high value woman era, your vibration changes. And because of that, they want to suck your energy like an energy vampire just to dump you again once they know that they have you back in their grips. It's just a power play because when somebody is really into you, you don't question it and you don't have to jump through hoops to be seen. So I gave you those steps to do. Get out your journal and start writing things out to have a relationship with yourself. And I'll see you on the next episode.